Can we survive the heat death of the universe? One day, the last star will die, galaxies will dissolve, and black holes will evaporate. The cosmos will become a forever expanding, empty void where nothing happens. Forever. A place without life, purpose, or meaning. Lame and depressing. But there might be a loophole in the laws of physics for a future civilization to survive the death of everything and go on having fun and internet arguments for Googles of years, maybe even forever. To explain how this works, we need to go through a few steps, so strap in if you want consciousness to live forever. How to outlast the stars. Let's travel 100 trillion years into the future when the last stars are about to die and the cosmos starts turning dark forever. Here in this dying universe, we find the Noxans, the last civilization still alive. Compared to them, we're cave dwellers. They've solved physics and can do things we can only dream of. Still, the same rules of reality apply to them as to us. The Noxans like being alive and don't want to vanish with the last stars. So, they're enacting the plan to keep consciousness around forever. The first issue is energy. If you want to keep a civilization running, you need a lot of it. But actually, not that much in cosmic terms. With 5 hours of the full energy emitted by the sun, we could power present-day humanity for about 10 billion years. So the Noxans harvest the last stars and build a gigantic complex of batteries around their home star. In principle, this energy could keep them alive for a few 100 trillion years, a long time but not even close to forever. So now the hard part of the plan begins. The Noxans need to change the nature of life itself. Thoughts cold as ice. Being alive means doing things, eating, playing video games, and very importantly, thinking. And each of those things costs energy. But how much energy? There's an idea from a famous paper we'll mercilessly simplify and call Dyson's cold thoughts. In a nutshell, the idea is that the lower your temperature, the less energy it takes to do something. Your brain runs at a temperature of 310 degrees above absolute zero. Zero is the temperature where nothing can happen anymore. At 310 degrees, your brain needs 20 joules of energy to think a simple thought that takes 1 second to think, like, I should wear a funny hat. If your brain worked at colder temperatures, say 155 Kelvin instead of 310, a few things would change. First of all, you'd think at half the speed, and the same thought would now take 2 seconds. But in return, the energy you'd need to think the thought now halves from 20 joules to only 10. If Dyson's cold thoughts are correct, then the colder you go, the less energy you need to think a thought. At 1/10 your current temperature, the same thought would take 10 seconds but only require 2 joules. And this has wild implications, because it means that we actually might be able to play this game forever. How could this work in reality? Cooling down a living organism isn't easy. If we put you in a fridge, you'll die from hypothermia. The reality is that this plan will be impossible to do with flesh and blood, so the Noxans have to take a huge step. Before we cool anything down, consider this. Maybe the real trick is stepping back and seeing ideas from different perspectives, because even with more efficient brains, we're still prone to the same biases we face today. Nothing highlights this issue more than our modern media landscape. Thankfully, Ground News, the sponsor of this video, is working to confront these issues. They're a website and app designed to help you think critically about the information you consume, a mission we wholeheartedly support. For each news story, they gather articles from around the world with details on political bias, reliability, ownership, and summaries that show what each side leaves out. You even get to compare headlines to see how bias affects framing. Luckily, it seems both sides agree that robots still have a long way to go. Thinking critically about the news we consume has become a necessity since information bubbles have become the norm. And Ground News makes it easier to do just that. To get 40% off their Vantage plan with unlimited access to all features, go to ground.news/nutshell or scan the QR code on the screen. Using this link supports our channel and helps make the media landscape a more transparent place. And now, back to cooling brains. They have to leave biology behind and transfer their minds into some kind of artificial brain. Or even better, become completely virtual minds and build a digital world as good or better than the real one. This is getting pretty sci-fi, so to be fair, we don't know how to build such brains or computers. But remember, we are 100 trillion years in the future, the Noxans are desperate, and the laws of physics should allow this. So now we have a pretty big battery with a huge but finite amount of energy, and a lot of brains or a computer that can cool down. Okay, this is great and all, but how do you stay around with limited energy forever? Well, this is at the core of the plan. Each time the Noxans get colder, they need less energy to stay alive. Sure, they'll be slower, but this isn't relevant to them. So from the Noxans' perspective, as long as they can keep getting colder fast enough, their battery's energy is growing proportionally and could keep them alive forever. Let's see how their plan unfolds. Cooling down. As the last star in the universe goes out and the universe turns dark forever, the Noxans activate their batteries and start cooling down their brains. The way they do it is extremely simple. How do you cool down a light bulb? Well, you unplug it so it can radiate away its heat. So the Noxans switch off their brains and start to hibernate. They enter a state with no activity, thoughts, or even dreams, and let their bodies radiate heat away to cool down a bit. When they activate again after some time, they're now colder than before. They think slower, and each thought uses up less energy from their battery. They enter into a new cycle of cosmic days and cosmic nights. During the days, they're alive and awake, doing all the stuff they want to do, hanging out with friends, thinking about things, eating virtual cheeseburgers, simulating universes, whatever Type 3 civilizations think fun is in the future. And during the night, they're switched off, lost in dreamless non-existence, not even noticing anything isn't happening while cooling down their brains even more. At the beginning, the nights will be very short and the days extremely long. A day can last 1,000,000 years, while night is only a few hours. But warm things shed heat much faster than cold ones. Cooling from 300 to 299 degrees takes much less time than going from 100 to 99. So, as the Noxan brains become colder, the nights will have to grow longer and longer. So, how long could they actually do this, and how is this a way to live forever? How long could the Noxans actually do this? The reason Dyson's cold thoughts are so incredibly powerful is how incredibly they scale. As eons pass in the dying universe, the Noxans keep cooling down and waking up. After 100 trillion years of this cycle, their temperature has only dropped 230 degrees above absolute zero. A simple thought now takes 1.3 seconds instead of 1. Each cosmic night is now 400,000 years long. But even accounting for their slower speeds and long hibernations, the Noxans have experienced the equivalent of 76 trillion years of life. Over 5,000 times the age of the current universe. This is frankly just an unsettling idea. What is way scarier than being dead? Being alive forever? So we need to detach ourselves a little bit. We simply have no concept how conscious beings would deal with the opportunity to actually live that long. Maybe our Noxans delete their memories regularly, maybe they create new worlds and new life, maybe at some point they decide to sleep forever. Maybe they just activate their pleasure centers and experience perfect bliss forever. As time keeps passing and the Noxans keep going through their cycle of day and night and cooling down, the universe keeps dying. After quadrillions of years, the corpses of former stars, white dwarfs, turn yellow, then orange, then red, then black. Trillions of years later, all galaxies have dissolved like dandelions. Decillions of years later, the first black holes evaporate in bursts of light like sad fireworks. And the Noxans, they're still around, at a chilling 10 quintillionths degree above zero. They've become so slow that a simple thought takes 1 trillion years. They spend 99.999999999999997% of the time hibernating. But for them, nothing's changed. Their conscious experience is just as fluid and vibrant as on the first day. From the outside, they live in slow motion. As they get colder and colder, their thoughts got slower and slower. But if you and the world around you slow down at the same pace, you don't notice anything. Your conversations, thoughts, adventures, and experiences feel exactly the same as before. And while the cosmic nights are now 1/4 decillion years long, it doesn't matter to them, because during the nights, the Noxans don't experience anything. So no matter how long the nights are, they pass in an instant. The Noxans experience a perfectly fluid existence. only that with each night they use up even less energy than before. At this point, they've lived, felt and experienced the equivalent of 4,000 trillion years. Their battery has only a tiny fraction of its original charge, but the Noxons now need so little energy that it seems larger than ever before. True eternity has just begun. Or has it? Can the Noxons actually live forever? Whether Dyson's cold thoughts can make you live forever depends on one thing. Can you keep cooling forever, or does the universe force you to hit a true limit? There are a few problems. Dark energy might eventually make the universe hit a temperature limit of 1/9,000,000th degrees above absolute zero. The Noxons will cool to that level after a googol years, but then they can't cool any further and their battery will begin to run out. And after this much time, the universe will make going on impossible in other weird ways. Quantum noise might just destroy their brains. All matter may decay into iron, or proton decay may destroy all atoms. We don't know. Forever is a long time. But even if the Noxons don't get a true forever, if Dyson's cold thoughts work, then within these googol years, their consciousness would experience the equivalent of 2 trillion years. This may all seem far-fetched and hard to imagine, but the amazing thing about it is that for all we know, the laws of physics don't forbid life to adapt even to a completely dead universe. And it would mean that life and consciousness aren't a brief accident in cosmic history, but the final chapter of existence itself, giving the universe meaning, purpose, and hope. Maybe forever. Here is your special connection to Kurzgesagt. If you're craving more between videos, our newsletter delivers the latest updates straight from the bird's nest to your inbox. You'll be the first to access limited releases and deals, learn about new product drops before the rest, and get fascinating, snackable science facts about our favorite topics. Of course, we'll also let you know about new video releases and updates from our game department. Plus, you'll get exclusive freebies like this cosmic diorama. Subscribe now to stay connected. And don't miss the very special product drop coming soon.